Welcome to NIEPID. Today we have an exciting interview with Major B.V. Ramkumar, who is the Director of NIEPID. Hello sir.
Good morning. Welcome to NIEPID.
Can you tell us about your journey and what made you focus on health and social development, especially for people with intellectual disability?
After my army stint, I was looking at some meaningful work for me in the society. And neurodevelopmental disabilities is one of the most marginalized disabilities, and where there's a lot of scope for working towards their empowerment and making them equitable partners in the society. And I'm very happy to have got an opportunity to join here, and it has been a wonderful journey ever since I've been here.
So how NIEPID has changed from starting onwards till now, and what are the biggest achievements?
As you would understand, NIEPID, National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, is an apex research organization apart from the other mandate what we have, that is in terms of developing the specialized manpower required for rehabilitating the person with intellectual disabilities, and apart also we have other objectives like community-based work, and also creating the necessary research and development in the areas which actually has been very in the primitive stage when NIEPID was instituted. So yeah, NIEPID actually works in a multi-dimensional work, and NIEPID has come a long way from the time it has been incepted in 1984. Initially, we were actually working in the area of rehabilitation, that is clinical services, and actually developing some courses in this field. And from that time onwards, it has been a wonderful journey where NIEPID has been doing excellent work in the area of research and development. As you would understand, most of the special education curriculum, most of the courses in the area of special education and rehab psychology have been developed by NIEPID. Most of the test tools which are actually used for assessment and rehabilitation of a person with intellectual disabilities have been developed by NIEPID. And this trend has been continuing from the stage it has been inception. And recently also we have been making very many cutting edges. So yes, it has been a very wonderful experience in which NIEPID has contributed a lot towards the society in areas where other non-governmental organizations who are also doing a wonderful job in this area, and NIEPID alone cannot do, they have been doing. So we are doing something beyond and what is expected of us as a national institute.
So what are your plans for next few years in NIEPID?
As I told you, there are multi-dimensional areas what we working. And when it comes to research and development, recently we have come up with the Indian Test of Intelligence. It is the first made in India tool for assessment of IQ, which is actually adapted to our society. Right, till now we have been using many foreign tools, and we have adapted them to our conditions, but again it is like a choice we made because of lack of anything of our own originally. So with the Indian Test of Intelligence, which actually caters to a socio-economic and cultural conditions, and the type of sample size what we had cutting across all 6 NSSO zones and covering about 16 states, it has come up wonderfully well, and now it has been successfully implemented after Government of India has gazetted it. Likewise, a couple of years back, that is in 2016, we have actually gazetted the Indian Scale for Assessment of Autism, which again is an indigenized test for assessment of autism, and it is actually way ahead of other tests in the sense it also gives the percentage of disability. So working upon now after the RPEE Act 2016, we have actually other disabilities which have been included in that. That is the SLD, where we actually have the Niemann battery up to 12 or 14 years. So now we are working on developing an SLD test for adults also beyond 18 years also, apart from the functional academics. And we are also trying to work on the adaptive behavior scale. Presently we are using many foreign tools. So the idea is actually NIEPID has been coming up with many research projects in the near future, which are actually Indian and which actually cater to the our local conditions. And here I am very happy to inform you, when we are doing this research, this is not just restricted to India. In fact, many of the foreign countries, especially the countries which relate to us in a socio-economic and cultural conditions, are also using it. And like our ESA tool is used extensively in the SAARC countries, it is used in the Middle East, and many of the Asia Pacific region countries are actually asking us permission for usage of this. And I'm very happy to inform you that recently, about 1.5 years back, we have come up with a comprehensive vocational assessment test, which is now actually being used in 4 European countries who have actually asked us permission to use these tests in their own countries. So we are, as our Honorable Prime Minister says, we are trying to be Vishwa Gurus and Vishwamitras in trying to share our research with other organizations.
So sir, we have been seeing many institutions, private institutions, especially for disabilities, right? So they tell us that they will do this therapy, they will be like treating the person who are with disability, and they charge too much. So most of them are not aware of NIEPID, what kind of treatment is given and what kind of support, and we have different department, right? Could you just elaborate about it?
Well, actually, as I told you earlier, NIEPID per se itself cannot cater and reach out to all the person with intellectual disability or any neurodevelopmental disability. And there is a very dire need of all these organizations to working. But again, at the same time, when these organizations work, they actually don't work on the social model or on the model of actually, trying to limitate the financial burden on the parents. So, yes, there are a couple of, and some of these organizations are not multidisciplinary like NIEPID. In NIEPID, we have a medico-rehabilitative approach where comprehensive, it's a life cycle approach we adapt here, right from 0 to 100 years. So, right from early intervention, prevention, to early intervention, then rehabilitation, and then necessary rehabilitation services, and rehabilitation into the society through training them in sort of vocational trades and skill development and coaching. We actually put them into the mainstream society. And just to quote an example, recently we placed about 16 people in MediPlus. And 2 months back, we placed about 22 people in KIMS Hospital. We have placed people in organizations like Microsoft, Domino's, very many printing presses, blade factories, etc., etc. Even Ratandeep and Sham Supermarket. So many places we have been placing. So it is a life cycle approach, which obviously as an NGO they can't do. And when your question regarding the charges, yes. What happens is in NIEPID, we have a different model of rehabilitation where we involve the parents. Whereas in NGO, they don't involve the parents. It is the professional who gives them a session, say of 40 minutes or 50 minutes, and they charge amount, as they deem fit, and which are certainly higher and beyond the reach of many parents. So in NIEPID, what we do is we actually involve the parents, and when we actually do an assessment, we tell the parents what the problem is, and then we also tell how to mitigate it. Once the assessment is done, say for a speech or a fine motor or gross motor or even behavior modification, what needs to be done? Because we strongly believe the mother is the biggest therapist, biggest doctor, biggest anything you call. So once we train the mother and what needs to be done, the therapy is not restricted to the 40 minutes what a professional gives. It is a 24/7 therapy which is going on at home. So we train the mother, we tell her do this for 15 days and come back for a revisit. Then we'll see what is the changes, the behavioral or whatever it is, or speech or whatever it is. And then we actually go about and we take it stage to stage. So this is the model which obviously the NGO or the clinics which are there, they don't adapt. And the main difference is again the comprehensive, the medico-legal rehabilitative approach what we have. Vis-a-vis, they have very few people, maybe a psychologist or special educator, but they don't have a comprehensive team.
Sir, presently we are seeing many students with disability, right? So they face when they go for normal, they think that they are normal compared to others, and people demotivate. And do you think that those students will also go into a depression, and what kind of environment they usually need?
Yeah. See, again, a very important aspect is sensitivity among the general public. Because when somebody needs support, instead of support, if they are demeaned, they have ridiculed, they are, their esteem is brought down, then obviously, right, instead of actually going ahead, sometimes they may get into many of the mental health issues like depression, anxiety, whatever you're talking about. So what is very important is creating awareness among the general public is very important about how they should actually handhold, how they should be sensitive towards this cause, and how they all should actually contribute towards giving them an equal footing in the society and making them live equally among all of us. So this is very important, and yes, we have actually seen many of these cases, and we have been doing extensive awareness programs. And here what is very important is this sensitivity of the general public should start right from the school stage. And we at NIEPID actually have been doing extensive programs on this. We have been doing many awareness programs among the school children, especially in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, where people are slightly intelligent enough to understand, and we tell them what the disability is. And we also conduct a lot of programs like an inclusive sports program, inclusive cultural programs. We invite the local schools, and we ensure that they actually partner with our special needs children, and they form a team and they participate in the programs. And once they understand the need and they understand that this is not any disease, it is only a condition, and that is how we have to bring about the right awareness in the society.
Sir, usually when the disability occurs, like usually people, like most of the people suffer from by birth, right? So what is the reason behind it?
There are many causes. In fact, it is again different from different disability, like autism or Down syndrome. They are all genetic reasons. And like if you take ID, there are many reasons. In fact, there are prenatal, natal, and postnatal causes also. And so we can't generalize the reasons for this. But again, we have to understand. Biggest aspect is prenatal care for the parents is very important. And during the process of birth, actually there are so many accidents which actually happen to the brain, and sometimes the lack of proper oxygen, sometimes so many other reasons, injuries to the head, and genetic causes, so we can't say this is one specific cause which is actually responsible. So what is very important is we have to actually sort of train the mothers and create the awareness in the mothers as to the type of precautions what they have to take before and after the childbirth. And very important is the 0 to 3 years, they call the 1,000 days, what they call is. And the mothers have to be very careful about the developmental milestones and whether the child is actually achieving them, and if not, then coming up for the proper rehabilitation facilities like NIEPID, where they can actually give the proper intervention during the neuroplasticity stage of the brain.
What is the best memory you would recall in NIEPID?
Frankly, NIEPID has been doing cutting edge research. NIEPID has been giving sort of intervention to very rarest of rarest syndromes like the Joubert syndrome and other areas we have been working. And the best part is the cutting edge research what we have been doing. And another experience, in fact, I'll tell you frankly, I have so many experiences, I don't know what to choose. I will just give you a small example. Recently, we have actually conducted a big program in Assam, in South Salama district. In fact, these are the districts which we have chosen. And South Salama district is one where there has been no one who has gone to the place. So it is as part of our campaign to reach the unreached. We have done an assessment of about more than 2,000 people, and we found 12,000 persons have been actually diagnosed with intellectual disability. And these are ranging from 0 to 14 years. That means people in 14 years have never got any sort of assessment or intervention. And the type of satisfaction when you actually identify them, we got them the disability certificate, then we got them the UDID card registration, then we also got them, the TLM kits we have distributed on the spot, and we have trained the parents how to go about with them in the future, and what are the nearest facilities where they can go, apart from them assuring that we will be continuously following up. So the point is, if you talk about the different mandates, be it research, as I told you, research we have been doing wonderfully well, and we have a lot of plans. And now actually foreign organizations, foreign countries are actually approaching us for our support, technical consultancy, etc. And in human resources also, we have been increasing the number of courses, especially the higher level courses. Like we have last year we have started the MPhil in rehabilitation psychology, which obviously would be nomenclature something different with the NEP. And we have started the MED Special Education ID, which is again the training of trainers, and we have been starting the graduate level courses also. Apart from that, we are also trying to reach out more and more people. So we are partnering with organizations like IGNO, where we are setting up the learning centers here so that more people can actually, access our, highly state-of-art services, what we provide here in NIEPID. And we have been increasing on a number of interns actually, see, most of the people don't get exposure to the practicals. So that is very important. And we have been collaborating with many national level organizations, right from ICSR organizations and CDAC and many NGOs. In fact, I am very happy to inform you that shortly, as part of the 100-day vision of our Honorable Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment, we will be entering into MOUs with about 8 organizations. Out of them, 6 are actually startups and innovators who are actually coming up. And apart from 2, one is CDAC and one is for Central for Research on Unani Medicine. Actually, we are trying to bring about the concept of Unani Ayurveda also in the intervention process of intellectual disabilities. So, it has been a very, very holistic, all 360-degree, approach what we are doing here. And frankly, the very mandate is actually fixing timelines and ensuring that whatever we start is finished in the timelines in a proper manner. That is also one of the very strictures what we put upon ourselves. It's not just starting it, but ending it up well is also one of our mandate here.
So, sir, you have been receiving many awards, right? So, in that awards, which one is you are proud of one award and it's a memorable for you?
Frankly, as you said, I have received international and national awards also. But what award I get on a daily basis is at least 3 to 4 parents come to my office. They say, sir, actually we have been going around clinics thinking that government is only for the poor people and rich people should go to the corporate this thing. 3-4 parents come and tell me your toilets are clean, your organization is so corporate, your organization is so clean, and your staff are excellent. This is the award which I receive on a daily basis, and it beats any of the other awards what I actually got.
So, sir, how important are international partnership for NIEPID?
See, frankly, international partnerships are important in the sense that, see, any academic field actually is about learning from each other, trying and understanding what are the best practices and what are the practices. Suppose, see, I've been to Netherlands for European Congress in Psychology, where I presented a paper, and that was on sense of coherence and the type of psychological state of the parents with intellectual disabilities. And while I went for a conference, I presented a paper. What is very important is the learning what I had. What are the different practices? What the people are doing in Manchester, what people are doing in Switzerland, what people are doing and trying and understand their way and how much can we replicate here. And not only that, me going there and telling them as to how we are actually going about with our rehabilitation process. So in fact, they have been so wonderful. In fact, the one question what I got to hear from many of the participants there is, we are such small countries and we have so many challenges and in terms of lack of profession, how is India actually trying to, address and reach out to everyone because of our big population size? And they are amazed the way our intervention process goes on and how, we actually try and reach out to everyone through different segments of our institutional setup, what are prevalent in the country. So the point is, going international is always a learning process. And as I told you, you see, all our publications, all our research outcomes are free and we put it on the website as per the mandate of our Secretary DPWD, Sri Rajesh Agrawalji. And what has happened is, once we have put it in a website, like as I told you, about 4 European universities, organizations have actually approached us with an MOU, asking us permission to use them in their respective countries, duly giving credit to NIEPID. Likewise, we have a lot of requests from SAARC countries also, Nepal, we have from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, then we have a lot of people and Middle East. Like recently there was one gentleman who was working in UAE, he came here, he understood about Indian test of intelligence, he bought a test and he said this is very much relevant to them than the most westernized test what they have. So the point is, international collaborations are very important in our learning curve, in our learning process, and trying to better on a daily basis.
So, sir, from NIEPID, for specially disability students, they usually get a certificate, right? So, how it is useful in central government and the state government for the career purpose?
See, the earlier what the state governments were giving their own independent disability certificate, and every government has got their own benefits in terms of certain privileges which are extended to the person with disabilities, be it a monthly pension or reservation in the jobs, reservation in other places, and concessions in the travel and etc. So now actually in the last 4-5 years, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, has come up with the UDID card, which is the Universal Disability ID card, and which is actually usable across the country, unlike the earlier state government cards, which are actually restricted to their own states. So the mobility was slightly restricted when they go to other state governments. Sometimes they do not have the acceptability, but the UDID card has come, and with this UDID card, as I told you, it is a comprehensive card, and all the facilities which the state governments and the central governments, like the central government has also got a lot of schemes and benefits for a person with disabilities. They actually give under the EDIP scheme, they give a lot of aids and appliances free of cost for persons having certain income criteria, and in case of neurodevelopmental disabilities, the income of the parents or the caregivers. And apart from that, they have actually schemes like insurance schemes like the National Trust and Ramaya scheme for ID and all the multiple disability and autism and Down syndrome children. And they also have scholarships like post-matric, pre-matric, post-matric scholarships, where they're given a lot of reservations in that. And recently, actually, after the RPWD Act, there has been made reservations also in jobs and also as well as the education hubs. So having a disability card, and another important feature is the caregiver or the person who support this also gets concession in the travel when they travel along with them. So having a disability card actually is very helpful, and it will give them a lot of privileges, and I would encourage everyone to get one, especially the UDID card, which will have an acceptability across the country.
What message would you like to give to general public and the parent?
See, general public, I would like to say, be sensitive. See, first I would like to say that intellectual disability is not a disease, it is only a condition. It is it's not the inappropriateness of the development of the brain with as in relation to the age. So it's not a disease, it's just a condition, number one. Number two is, you need to be sensitive, and you need to have empathy, not sympathy, for these people. And you have to understand that, these people have an equal footage, equal rights, the same fundamental rights, or the same, rights whatever we enjoy, they should also be given there. And there should not be any discrimination in terms of their special abilities. I would call them special abilities, because these people can do something much, much more better than any of us. So that is one. For the parents, I will say that, because, first, don't get overwhelmed by any child with sort of disabilities, because these people can do wonders. And here I would like to quote an example. There is one autistic child with about 20 years who came to us, and is completely, he has ADHD and very severe behavioral issues also. And the parent was finding it very hard to keep him at home, and somehow she got to know about NIEPID. She brought him here. And after a few months of training and identification, that is what I said about the CVAT, Comprehensive Vocational Assessment Test, which I told about some of the European countries also trying to adapt. See, after an assessment, we found that he has got a knack for certain aptitude towards doing something for longer hours. And we introduced him to painting, and you will be amazed to know that today this gentleman, he does such wonderful paintings which actually beat any of the best painters. And he has been now going to many national and international exhibitions, and is earning money more than 45 to 50,000 through sale of his paintings. And imagine a guy who was actually mother who brought him here just to keep him calm, quiet, and for some sort of institutional support, today has become an earner and an independent guy. So the point is going to the right organization, identifying your child's abilities, irrespective of its, he was moderate autism, I would just like to state that, and ADHD. And that child, when he can do, any child can do anything. So actually have the sense of coherence, and have the confidence in your child, and give him the right intervention, and your child will do wonders.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your wonderful insights with Neo Science Hub. For more updates, stay tuned.